Hey guys, and welcome to class. My name is Mr. G. I hope you all are very well, and we are going to continue with the class today with the Book of Passages. And we're going to continue with the grammar, the second grammar of unit number 3 in the Book of Passages. So please follow me here onto the presentation, and I hope you enjoy it and can stay with us until the end. Connecting and contrasting ideas. Connecting contrasting ideas. So contrasts are a part of life. Check out these contrasts in these pictures. So here we have a picture of life and death. The green leaves, the brown leaves. So I want you to look at the pictures that follow and think about them. Think about these pictures. Here we have, if you haven't noticed, I'm a really big Marvel fan nerd. But all seriousness aside, here we have another contrast. Strongest people in the movies and the smartest people in the movies. How do you feel about this? What do you think about this? There's always a contrast. There is a stark contrast in life all the time. Who is the strongest? Who is the smartest? Who is the most intelligent? Who is the skinniest? Or what is black and white? What is good and bad? All this sort of stuff. For example, here's another big contrast. Sometimes we have urban and suburban. People like the beach, people like the pool, people like the river. If you're a river person, maybe you don't like the beach. If you're a beach person, maybe you don't like the river. That always depends. So contrasts are a part of life. They're constantly there in the places you live, in the movies you watch, and in just life in general. So we always have to make these contrasts, and there are words that we can use to include in our sentences for this. So here are the words, the key words that you can use to make contrasts or connect contrasts. Despite and in spite. Although and even though. However, nevertheless, and on the other hand. However, nevertheless, and on the other hand. So here we go with despite and in spite. They function as prepositions and go before the noun or a gerund. So in this case, despite all his efforts, Thanos lost to the Avengers. Despite all his efforts, Thanos lost to the Avengers. So they go before the noun. The noun is Thanos in this case, or his efforts. So when you use despite or in spite, they go before the noun or a gerund. Although and even though. They are used to begin an adverb clause. They are used to begin an adverb clause. Although conchas are quite uncomfortable, they are a somewhat reliable means of transportation. So there is a contrast in the idea that conchos are not very comfortable, but the idea that they can be a good means of transportation or a somewhat good means of transportation makes it so that it's not such a bad thing to ride in a concho. There are better means of transportation, but that does not mean that you are not going to use a concho because it's very inexpensive, it's cheap, they get you very easily around the city. Whatever idea you have that is in contrast to the fact that they are uncomfortable is always going to be in contraposition, but it is very light. It is very light. It's not the same as the one before. Okay? Now, finally, we have however, nevertheless, and on the other hand. They are used as transitions. When you are talking about ideas, they are used as transitions. Two of them, which are however and nevertheless, express a sort of agreement that does not mean full agreement. The other, on the other hand, which is on the other hand, that's what I meant, expresses a clear-cut contrast to the first sentence. So here are the examples. I love the countryside. That's a typo there. I should have erased that. I love the countryside. It's the, not they. My wife, on the other hand, loves the city. My wife, on the other hand, loves the city. So here there is a stark contrast. She loves the city and he loves the countryside. They don't agree on one liking one thing and that other person liking the same thing. They like two completely different things. However, when you talk this way, you say, I love the countryside. My wife likes it too. However, she, right here, she loves the city. So in this case, you can argue that despite the fact his wife doesn't love the city, she also likes it, so they can both agree on that. But in some cases, that is not the case, and you have to use the connector, the transition of on the other hand. So these are all to put in contraposition ideas or likes or dislikes that you have with other people or ideas that you encounter. Let's repeat them. Despite and in spite, although and even though, however, nevertheless, and on the other hand. Remember, you can always use these keywords to express contrast in your sentences, and, as mentioned before, in time, you never know where the influence of a teacher starts and stops. Stay safe, stay healthy, and thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Stop. It's not stopping. The video is not stopping.